Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakaचार्य Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam That's and he said it takes only a moment to give up your fruitive mentality and mental speculation. Oh. So there are all these considerations for the karma kanda persons. What is auspicious? What is inauspicious? When is the right time? When is not the right time? Therefore, at least I know in India, uh, when they have to begin something like a new job or a new house they're building, or when they would do the groundbreaking ceremony, they would go through astrological calculations. Oh, such and such day, such and such time is the auspicious time for groundbreaking. Okay, right? That's how they do it. So now, Prabhupada did not teach any of us to look at the almanac, consider all these. So, what is the auspicious time for the devotees? Whenever you chant Hare Krishna, that's the auspicious time. So, we begin with chanting Hare Krishna, and even if something is inauspicious, it turns auspicious. And whatever auspiciousness might be there, is still auspicious just by chanting Hare Krishna. That is our faith and that is our belief. I know that since the past 16 years, I've not followed any of these almanac, nothing. My life's turned out fairly okay. Previously, there was so much about what is the good time, is this. Now we believe. Anything to do with Krishna is there in our life, it's auspicious. Therefore, we light fires at different times. We build a house. We never think about a good time for a house warming, this and that. In fact, we don't even do any astrological or astronomical calculations for weddings, for marriages. Don't ask me how the marriages are going, but I'm assuming they're okay. But the idea is you chant Krishna's name and you have the auspicious blessings of Guru and sadhus, you're okay. It's done in, trying to please the deities. This is our auspiciousness. And therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whose appearance is coming up in a couple of days, he broke that worry for us. And he said, just by chanting, we find all success. Param Vijayate, the ultimately successful and victorious Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Kirtan, Krishna Kirtan is the formula for ultimate success. And in that verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. That in the auspicious white lotus in the heart unfurls when the full moon, when the rays of the full moon of chanting touches it. And Anandambudhi Vardhanam, same Shreya Vivardhana, Ananda Ambudhi Vardhana. The person is floating in the ocean of happiness, ever increasing happiness. So by chanting Hare Krishna, we don't know, but we're very sure that thousands of obstacles from our life have been removed that we don't even know existed. Had our life not been devotionally centered, we would be beaten like anything by the material modes of nature. So badly beaten that we would have given up any hope for any happiness in life. The two ways of suffering. One is we are aware we're suffering, right? One is getting beaten up financially or fighting in the family or disease or something. We know we're suffering. The worst is to suffer and not know I'm suffering and think, oh, everything's okay. It's not okay. So in Krishna's service, there is no auspiciousness or inauspiciousness. Everything is auspicious. Some people will have a problem. Oh, Brahmins, how are you making somebody a Brahmin? They're not born in a Brahmin. It's not auspicious. No. Anyone who chants Krishna's name sincerely and the spiritual master gives the Gayatri, they are Brahmin. In fact, Krishna is very pleased to be with them. So many stories like that. In Jagannath Puri, the persons who actually serve Jagannath, Lord Jagannath, very closely are the Shabaras. The Shabaras, it literally means pig handlers. So they're not very clean in terms of, knowing all the Vedic mantras and rituals. They have their own set of rituals that are very different looking. And mostly for the smartas, Prabhupada defined what does smarta mean. Oh, I was reading 11th canto there. Is one who leads his life or her life according to the smritis, which are the Upanishads, are called the smartas. They're all into rules and propriety. Everything should be proper. You go to Jagannath Puri, when they have to bring Lord Jagannath on the chariot, some of the pandas, some of them are playing music, some of them have sticks in their hand. You know what that stick is for? It's for beating Jagannath. because he's hesitating to get on the chariot. They're like, "Psh, Jagannath." It is their love, and George Jagannath doesn't mind that. In fact, he's appreciative of that. So there's one scenario where they were bringing Lord Jagannath onto the chariot, and the whole, as they're Jagannath's big and heavy, and the whole crowd with who's carrying Jagannath is swaying like this and trying to move one step forward and then swaying and another step forward. So someone asked the panda, "What is this ritual of swaying?" He said, "No one is swaying. It is Jagannath who's swaying, and we're just trying to hold him on, hold him together." Because he's very intoxicated with happiness to get on that chariot. It's very difficult to control him. So they have sticks and they, hey, Jagannath, like that. So one particular great personality, Sripad Ramanujacharya is described. He visited Jagannath Puri and he saw all this, you know, rituals that were going on. And he was sleeping that night thinking, my gosh, they have all their self-styled rituals and they're like, shabaras. I need to put this all into order for Lord Jagannath. Hmm? Because it should be done according to scripture, properly done. And he thought like that. And next morning when he woke up, he was about 300 miles away from Jagannath Puri. In his sleep, Lord Jagannath transported him out of Jagannath Puri. And this Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes. Why? And Jagannath came in his dream and said, I love the way my devotees take care of me. I don't need you to change anything. Just leave. So there's no auspicious is that one has some loving feelings for the deities. Of course, Prabhupada gave us certain standards to follow. It doesn't mean we can say, oh, I'm also a lover of Lord Jagannath. I can do anything I like. We follow Prabhupada. That's our way of auspiciousness. Another thing, according to all these things, certain rules and regulations, I'm reminded of a particular pastime with Lord Chaitanya. And the principle is for the sake of serving Krishna, certain rules can be broken, which otherwise are meant to be followed very strictly for auspiciousness. For example, and there are cases of emergencies or extenuating circumstances in which you can do. It's not that that's how you do. For example, we don't go on the altar without taking a bath. If you're not clean, you're not a Brahmin, you don't go on the altar. Okay? But let's say there is some situation that requires an emergency, there's an emergency need on the altar. We don't hesitate. Oh, I'm Brahman, I'm clean, unclean. This service to the deity comes first. For example, when there is an extenuating circumstance, I don't want to say, suppose someone has a weird thing, wants to attack or do something with the deities, or there is a fire in the building, or an earthquake, or whatever. At that time, you don't think, oh, I'm not a Brahman. What do I do? Can I go? No, deities come first. Extenuating circumstances. So, in the life of Lord Chaitanya, his servant Govinda, he expressed situation like that. So, every afternoon after lunch, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would take some rest. So, and Govinda would massage his feet. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because of dancing all day, would be tired. So he would massage his feet and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would take rest. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was living in a very small room called the Gambhira. So this afternoon, as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had his lunch, he went and Govinda had come a few minutes later and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was right by the threshold of the door of the room, but across. So to enter the room, Govinda would have to step over Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in Vedic system, you don't step over anyone, any live person. Only dead bodies you can step over. I remember in my childhood, if by mistake I would step over my mother or father, They would make me step over back this way to nullify it or whatever. And just say, it's just not proper. You should not step over like that. So Govinda is standing there. He wants to be inside the room to massage Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feet, but he cannot cross over. So he considered what to do. He crossed over, went inside. A very inauspicious thing to do, and massaged Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feet. So after some time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu woke up and he saw Govinda sitting on this side. So he said, Govinda, what happened? Oh, I came to do my service. He said, how did you enter? He said, I stepped over you, which was wrong, but I came in. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, okay, have you had lunch? No, not yet. He said, it is 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Why didn't you have your lunch? He said, because I would have to step over you to go have lunch. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, if you could step over this side, why didn't you step over that side? So he said, I stepped over you to come in to do my service. But to go out and eat is my sense gratification, which I could not violate the rule. So I am waiting. You understand? It is okay to violate this rule for the sake of his service. But it's not okay to violate the rule for the sake of sense gratification. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was extremely pleased by his service attitude. Wow. So all these are wonderful, but the real auspiciousness is in the acts of bhakti, in the act of pleasing Guru and Krishna. Then Shreya Amogham Tadayusha. Even in this short life, whatever we do will be successful. Because whatever we want to do, hopefully and should be, ideally, is devotional. And so everything is successful. And therefore, you see that in the life of great devotees, whatever they did was successful. In Prabhupada's case, whatever he did turned out successful. Without any resources, without any contacts, this somehow, providentially, Krishna was always helping. In the Mahabharata, when Arjuna and Duryodhana had to decide that they were going to fight, there was this one particular instance where what to do with Krishna and Krishna's army was the question. And both Duryodhana and Arjuna came running to meet with Krishna because whoever stakes his claim first gets. So when they appeared into Krishna's palace, it is said that Krishna was lying down, taking a nap. This was a transcendental nap. So Duryodhana thought, if I sit by Krishna's head, he will see me first. And Arjun, because he was devotee, he went and sat by Krishna's feet. That's the auspicious place for the devotee, by their deity or by their guru's feet. So although Duryodhana had come first, but Krishna is very tricky. He opened his eyes and said, Arjun will have to ask first. So Duryodhana said, but I came first. Krishna said, I saw him first because when I open my eyes, I can see my feet, not my head first. So Duryodhana was in anxiety. If he asks for the armies, then his numbers will be bigger than my numbers. And Arjun asked, my dear Krishna, I would like you to be on my side. And Krishna said, Arjuna, I'm not going to fight this war. I'm not going to touch or pick up any weapon. You know that. Yes, I'd like you to be on my side. He looked at Duryodhana. Duryodhana said, perfect. I want all the armies. Okay, both of your wishes fulfilled. And Duryodhana was thinking, Arjuna is a fool. Krishna is only one person, and that too he won't be fighting. But I have got all these armies. So by the time they were face to face at the war, Duryodhana had 11 Akshohinis of warriors, and the whole Pandava army was 7 Akshohinis. And Duryodhana was very confident they will win. Isn't that the first chapter? Just look who's on our team. Bhishma Dev, Dronacharya, Karna, all these great generals. His confidence was, I have more in numbers. And Arjuna's confidence was, I have Krishna on my team. In terms of numbers, it doesn't mean anything. Krishna is not even fighting. So a materialistic person thinks in terms of quantity. And a devotee thinks in terms of quality. I have Krishna on my side. Even if he's not fighting, that's fine. Therefore, the Bhagavad Gita starts with, what are the Pandavas and Kauravas doing? Basically, the question is, who's going to win? That is Dhritarashtra's main concern. Mamakah Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya. Who's going to win this war is his concern. And the Bhagavad Gita ends with a proclamation. Yatra Yogeshwaro Krishna Yatra Partha Dhanurdharaha Tatra Shri Vijaya Dhir Dhruva Matir Mama. Wherever there is Krishna and wherever there is Arjuna, all wealth, all power, all success or victory, and all morality exist. So those are all symptoms of Shreya. Shreya Vivardhana or Shreya Amogham Tadayushaha. So in our life, we always have to consider quantity versus quality. Of course, quantity in the sense of devotion is also proper, but a quality driven is the quality of my consciousness is what we have to work on. The quality of our consciousness is how are we considering everything in relation to Guru and Krishna. Then Shreya Amogham Tadayushaha. It's possible that in one short duration of life, ultimate success will come our way because it is gifted by Krishna. In everything else, one has to work for it. Here it is gifted by Krishna. So we're very fortunate that Srila Prabhupada has gifted us this very rare privilege of being so close to the deities, seeing them every day, serving them every day, chanting their name every day, uh, molding our life around them, around their service. Whatever we are doing, it looks very different for each one of us. Even if we are going away from them for work, it's still for them, for their service. To cultivate such consciousness, then it's very, very joyful and special. That's my understanding of Shreya Amogham Tadayusha. Any questions or comments? Mataji.
Nityananda Prabhu, you were putting a lot of emphasis on there being no necessity to function like, say, the smarta function, all the rules and regulations and the auspicious time or time for beginning, time for ending, be it in relation to sacrifices. So because there is the natural order, as you were mentioning, morning, afternoon, evening, it doesn't seem that one should completely ignore the, say, if someone is knowledgeable of the particular, say, auspicious placement of rooms or windows or objects in a building or a
Right.
temple, it would seem that that's one could adhere to that just by way of respecting natural order, that something's faced, the right auspicious spot for the deities to face, or the right auspicious positioning of the fire yagya. So naturally, I understand the principle, but it seems that I don't know what would be the word, that it enhances, maybe not enhances,
It
but it wouldn't
harmonizes.
seem
It harmonizes.
harmonizes. That's it. So the question would be, would it not also um, be in order to acknowledge
Sure.
that's a branch
Very
of
much.
knowledge?
Absolutely. Because um, in the Brahma Samhita we hear Yachakshureshu Savita Sakala Grahana Raja Samasta Suramurti Rashesha Teja. All the planets are moving in their orbits, led by the sun according to Krishna's order. So there is a valid science. Like I started with, there's a valid science. It doesn't mean we poo poo it, it just means that we may not necessarily need to know everything. But someone who knows, then yeah, I'll give you an example. If we wrongly understand what I spoke today, Nityananda Pran Prabhu said, rules are not necessary, the spirit is necessary. I will do Mangalarti at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I will sing some Saradava at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's when I start my day because the quality is there. Is that okay? No, Prabhupada said 4:30. He didn't say 4:30 p.m. Or today's Saturday is Ekadashi. I don't like to fast on today. I don't like to fast today. I will follow Ekadashi tomorrow, day after tomorrow, any day I like. Is that okay? It's not okay. It's not Ekadashi anymore. But our Ekadashi is determined by the astronomical positions of the sun and the moon. So we follow today. So, yes, it harmonizes when, thank you, when both are aligned. But our emphasis is on the devotional aspect. So, if I fast all day Monday, saying for Ekad, I don't get the same spiritual benefit. Not that I necessarily recognize what benefit I'm getting on an Ekadashi. It's not tangible in that sense. But yes, it's necessary to follow when it is supportive of devotional service. If it is not supportive, then one shouldn't follow. So, in the previous purport, I think yesterday's, uh, where is it? Jiva Goswami speaking about Shraddha ceremony. So, the verse says one should perform Shraddha ceremony very carefully. Jiva Goswami has given quotes from many Shastra saying the Shraddha ceremony to the forefathers should not be performed on Ekadashi. Astrologically or astronomically, that day falls on an Ekadashi, Jiva Goswami says you don't follow on Ekadashi. You do it the next day, for example. So as long as they are supportive of devotional activities, yes. Otherwise, no. Thank you. Anything else? Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.